Tested. John. Hey guys, hope everyone's well. Quick video today just on the subject of £4,000 adventure bikes. On my left we've got the Voge 300 Rally, which came out midway through 2023 at 3,799 plus 200 on the road, so £4,000. And then here we've got the Euro 5 Himalayan, which came out the original Himalayan came out 2017, and that came out at £4,000 plus 200 on the road. Over the last few years, it climbed up to £5,000, and then obviously with the announcement of the new 452 and with the decoupling of MotoGP, the importer of Royal Enfields up until last year, the decoupling from them and Royal Enfield, who were taking over the importation themselves, there's been a glut of these in a warehouse that MotoGP dealers have been trying to get rid of, so they brought the price back down to £4,000, or actually 3,799 plus 200 on the road, so two dead on £4,000 bikes. And I think, you know, to pick which is best for different people is one thing, but I think first and foremost what we've got to say here is we've got two great bikes which offer so much adventure for such a little amount of outlay. And I was trying to think, you know, 25 years ago I was looking at Yamaha TZR 125Rs in my teenage years, and they were the exact same price as these two bikes are 25 years further down the line. So it just shows that, you know, we think bike prices have gone up, but actually in many ways they've not. So pound for adventure, I think these are the two of the best bikes on the market at the minute. Starting with the Himalayan, I've done a lot of miles on Himalayans over the years, probably about 30,000 miles combined over different Himalayans. I've been across America, through Eastern Europe, up to Ireland, Scotland, many places, lots of trail riding. And when they came out, I said at the time, as soon as I rode one and I bought one of the first into the UK, I said, I think this is the best travel bike of the last 5-10 years. And I still think that's a true statement, for the fact that for the £4,000 you got a complete ready-to-go package that you could take around the world or around Europe or around the UK, wherever, and it would do a mixture of road work and trail work, both pretty good, you know, pretty well. Not exceptional at motorway work, not exceptional at trails, but it did it well enough to form a really good cohesive package. The fact that it got the 21-inch front spoke wheel, it got a decent tank, 15 litres, that it got the sidebars, which meant you could get some luggage on the back, you got a rear rack as standard, you got a centre stand as standard. You know, those factors just made it to me just an unbeatable travel machine package. There was no other bike on the market, irrespective of price, which was a straight out the crate, ready to go adventure machine. Yes, it's heavy, you know, nearly 200 kilos fully fueled. It carries its weight really low though, so it's never felt as heavy as its on-spec sheets have said. 24.5 brake horsepower engine in a long stroke derivative, which means it's almost like a steam locomotive. It doesn't spin up very quickly, therefore it's not going to lose traction very quickly, but it just gives great torque and great chug in those difficult situations where it's muddy or sloppy. And it's meant that, like today I've been out with a guy, Giles. He's a first-time rider. He wanted to try both these bikes on some lanes. Out of the two bikes, he found this the most novice-friendly, easy-to-ride bike of the two, just because that extra weight means, and where it's sat, where it's placed, really glues it into the ground and gives great stability, which for a novice rider is more important than agility. This has got agility, this has got stability. And I think from a novice point of view, the Himalayan has just been kind of a golden ticket and an easy access point into a manageable adventure since it came out. So yes, it's a bit long in the tooth now after 6 years on the market. Yes, it's probably the most nigglesome bike that I've ever had in my fleet, you know, whether it's head bearings or relays or what else has it had. There's always something with a Himalayan. You know, it's not as cast iron reliable as a Japanese product. That's under no doubt, certainly in my perspective. But it's got so many attributes that make it such an accomplished all-round package. The 452 is coming, that's going to have more power. Will it be a better all-round usable bike? We've still got to wait and see. More power doesn't necessarily mean a better bike. Where it carries its weight, how it feels when you're in a tricky situation, that to me is going to count for a lot more than the extra horsepower gain. So a lot to prove for that new 452. Will it out Himalayan the Himalayan? Who knows? So I've got music going on behind me, the dance club. Next up we've got the Voge 300 Rally. A bit of a left field card, it came out last year. It was incredibly cheap. You know, the lead price of 3,799 plus on the road was like, wow, that is cheap. That is a CRF 300 Rally for £2,500 less. How bad can it be? How good could it be? that's what piqued my curiosity. So I bought one. Well, I bought one end of last year, but over the summer I spent 7,000 miles doing a lot of miles through Europe, Spain, Stella Alpina, on a test bike that was loaned to me by MotoGP. Interestingly, MotoGP, who import this, are the previous importers of the Royal Enfield. So there's quite a big sort of draw across these two bikes and the two companies, or the company that supplied them both. What I found with the Voge, it just does everything really well, actually. It's proven reliable, it's proven cheap to get parts for. I managed to snap off the starter button the other week, putting it in the van, and I got a new handlebar cluster on the right-hand side, and it was £25. The equivalent Honda part would have been 200, and the part came from MotoGP in 3 days. So from a parts perspective, that's great. Then mainly from a riding perspective, I've just found it really eager. Yeah, it's got an eager engine. It seems to have more eagerness than a 300 Honda, and the suspension is better tuned or more suited to the weightier body masses that we are in the West. It doesn't seem to need suspension like the 300 Rally needs or Honda needs. And it's just, again, it's a ready to go out the crate bike. So the appeal of these two bikes is A, that they're cheap, and B, that they've given us everything we need to pretty much set off on a long distance trip tomorrow. Throw on some soft saddlebags on this and you're ready to go. You've got the screen, you've got the crash bars, you've got the wheel sizes, you don't have to do anything to the suspension to make it work with luggage on. They both give a good economy. Both all do about 200 miles to a tank. Service intervals on both are 3,000 miles, so comparable levels of service needed. These are screw and lock nut engine. These are shims, so probably a little bit harder to self-service than the screw and lock nut, but both cheap and easy to work on. Cheap to get parts, You know, we talk about the Honda CRF 300 Rally has got the 8,000 mile service interval. What I would say to that is that I have got a CRF 300 Rally, and I changed the air filter at 4,000 miles, and that would toast. It could have done with doing it at 3,000 miles. So don't think just because something's got a stated higher service interval level that it doesn't mean to say you have to service it prior to that or sooner than that, depending on your usage. If you're using it for a lot of green lanes, it's going to need servicing sooner. So which £4,000 bike would I choose? Well, I've got to be honest, I'd choose a Voge. I think it offers a bit more excitement, a bit more verve, a bit more trail ability than this. This is a decent trail bike and a decent road bike. This is a great trail bike and a semi-decent road bike. But where I would call this a true trail bike, I'd call that a travel bike. So if you're going to do more trails, that. If you're going to do more travelling, I'd take the Himalayan. But as an all-rounder for me, I think I'm sort of swaying towards the Voge. But as I say, whichever you go for, the fact that we in Britain, and I'm talking about this from a British perspective, we can go into a dealership and spend £4,000. We don't have to PCP it. We don't have to hopefully take out a loan or anything. We can just buy a bike that is ready to go around the world or wherever you want to go on it. And I think that's we're in a great point, aren't we? And both these bikes, actually, they're clawing the price point down of the other manufacturers. They're saying, I'm sorry, but we can't get away with these £6,000, £700,000 bikes anymore. No, we're going to be 4,000. We're going to be 4,000. And it's great for the industry, it's great for the market, it's great for us as riders and as consumers, because it means we don't have to spend a lot of money, which is good. So yeah, the Voge, is it too tall for some people? Probably. You know, you're going to need to sit on it first, but I think anybody over 5'8", 5'7", 5'8" is going to manage, depending on confidence levels. And that's it. Yeah, so I just want to do a video. We've been out today with Giles. He really liked the Himalayan. I think he's going to go away and get a Himalayan just to potter around some back roads and a bit of green laning. But either of these bikes really are ideal tools for the person who wants to dip their toe into trail riding or travel riding or whatever. Or for anybody who's more experienced who wants to come down a level or two. You know. That's it. Cheers.